Middle age gets a really bad rap in our society. There just comes this point in time when you turn at a certain age, whatever that is for you, somewhere in the 40s or 50s, I find, when it feels like it's all downhill. Like you've missed out on the best years and there's just dread about what's going forward, and it drives me nuts. In most cultures, this time and age is a powerful age. It's a time of wisdom. It's a time of great productivity. The kids are raised. Maybe you're even empty nesting. You've got extra time and maybe money on your hands, and you can really start taking those steps to really move into your purpose of your life, but only if you have the right attitude. So in today's video, I want to share a few attitude adjustments we all need to have as we hit that mid-period. When you're in that second half, we need to shift these in order to really start to feel like we are actually in the best time of our lives. So if you're ready, let's get into this. My name is Erdman-Luntz, and I have been a life coach for over 30 years. My specialty is helping people live their extraordinary life, that life that's deeply fulfilling, full of purpose, and vibrantly joyful, for whatever that is for you. And I have done this for actually 32 years now. And for all 32 years that I've done this, my population, the people drawn to me, have been middle-aged, mostly women and some men. So I know a thing or two. I have definitely seen a few themes, shall we say. And now that I am 54, my husband is 64. We are empty nesters. As of like 9 months, we've been empty nesters. And I am in that space now. I have even more to share. So in this video, we're going to go over 5 attitude adjustments that you definitely want to consider and stay for. I was going to say the best one is the last one, but I would say the third and the last one are probably the most important. Well, maybe the first one too. Oh, good Lord, they're all good. You just want to stick through this because I'm going to give you paradigm shifts for your attitude that are going to make all the difference. And in fact, I bet you even start to feel it before the end of the video. So I am going to go grab a cup of tea, as I always do, and we are going to sit down and we're going to have a really informal chat about the 5 attitude adjustments we all need to take when we hit that certain age. All right, we're going to talk. So, during those 32 years of being a life coach, I also have been a yoga educator, and I have had some of my students for decades, 10, 20 years. Some were getting close to 30, believe it or not. And again, it's been in general middle-aged women, and I noticed early on that there was this time period where they would pivot. To go from, hey, Laura, my knee hurts, what can I do to help it? To, hey, Laura, my knee hurts, I'm getting older, that's the way it should be. And it used to drive me nuts. And I would get on my soapbox and I would do there's nothing that shifts as we get older. Yeah, there's a little wear and tear, but you can heal at any age. There have been studies of the oldest old, which I believe, if I remember correctly, back from graduate school, which was 30 plus years ago. I have my master's in exercise physiology, but they studied the oldest old, and this is people who are 103 and above, and they improved when they put attention on healing and strengthening, etc. Like, our bodies never stop. So it used to drive me nuts, and in fact, so much so that if someone came in and went down that track, my students who knew me well would go, oh God, here she goes. Because I would get on my soapbox and say, you want to figure out what you can do to heal. There is nothing that really shifts between 40 and 50 that we can't affect and continue to affect. Our life does not end. Now, I will say hormones 100% make a difference. Believe me, I do get that. And that's something we can do a video on later and work on that if you'd like. But here's the thing is I'm 54. I caught myself doing it. Oh, my knees are starting to hurt. Oh, does that mean that this is the way it's going to be? instead of thinking, what can I do to improve it? So we all need attitude adjustments, even those who teach the attitude adjustments from the beginning. So let's get into it. We are going to do 5. And what I'd love for you to do is comment below the one that hits you the most. It's okay if there are 2 or 3, but I would love to hear from you. Attitude change number 1, and I think the most important, is that life does not end. There is something about reaching 40 or 50 or 60 when you say, the best of my life is past me, it's all downhill from here. Oh my God, it drives me nuts. I hear it's too late more times than I care to even reflect on. It is not too late. I am 54, my husband is 64. We are currently planning the next 30 years. We actually had that realization earlier in the fall because we reached our 25th wedding anniversary, and we've been together 28 and a half years when we reached that point. And I looked at him and I said, we can have 30 more years together. Like, it was mind-boggling to think that as long as we've had together so far, we can have again. And we're planning on being very active during that time. But I also want to inspire you with some other ideas and other people. Louise Hay started Hay Publications, which is an internationally renowned publication house, at the age of 60. She started at 60 and she remained very active until she died. I think she was 94 or 5 when she passed away. My mom broke her leg skiing down a mountain at the age of 62 in Colorado, and I love that story. And there's also the Delaney sisters. I don't know if you've heard of them. They were really famous African-American women who lived, I believe, in New York State. And one of them was the first Black American woman dentist. I can't remember what the other one did. And they ended up writing a book together. They became the Guinness Book of World Records oldest authors at like 103 and 102 or something like that. And then the other sister went on to write another book after her sister passed away. She was, I think, 109 when she wrote her second book. So I want you to hear this and to realize that things don't end when you retire or you reach a certain age. That doesn't mean you have to keep running around. If you've been looking forward to retirement so you can sit on a beach and read a book, by all means do it. But if you're sitting there going, oh, I'm done, I guess I can't really do anything else, stop saying that and start thinking about what it is you want to be when you grow up, because you get to choose. It doesn't end with retirement. It doesn't end at a certain age. You can be very active and productive well into your 70s, 80s, 90s. Just keep going if that's what your heart desires. Attitude adjustment number 2, we need to ditch the judgment. So the older we get, the more years we have behind us of screw-ups, things we wish we hadn't done, roads we wish we hadn't taken, and it can drain our energy. Regret is a completely useless emotion. Now, I'm not saying don't make amends if there's a place to make amends. So if there is, some place where there's an apology necessary, a cleanup, as I say, then absolutely do that. But then let it go. Let yourself move forward. These regrets can hold us back like anchors. Attitude adjustment number 3. You gotta ditch the limiting beliefs too. Okay, so stick with me a little bit. This is going to be a really powerful change. In fact, probably one of the biggest ones. Beliefs are merely opinions you've held for a very long time. And we have thousands of beliefs. I mean, yeah, you've got religious beliefs, you've got political beliefs. You also have beliefs about what you are capable of and what you deserve. Now, some of those beliefs are life-affirming, and you've got positive beliefs in all those areas of your life that you rock out. So if you've got a great relationship with your kids or your spouse, or your career has been fantastic, like you really rocked it out, all of those things are supported by positive beliefs. It's like a foundation of I can. Now, in those areas in your life where you're not rocking it out, trust me, there is a foundation of limiting beliefs. And the hallmark of limiting beliefs is anytime you say the words, yeah, but. So I would love to do that. Yeah, but I don't have enough time. Yeah, but I don't have enough money. Yeah, but I don't have enough support. By the way, those are the three biggies: time, money, support, that people use. And I hear them all the time. I use them all the time. When I catch myself, I always stop and say, wait a minute, there's a limiting belief there. Because you might say, yeah, but Laura, I really don't have enough time. Here's my challenge. Can you think of one thing you can do, one tiny thing you can do in that area that you're talking about to move you forward? And I have never had someone say no. People can always think of one thing they can do within the time span they have in order to move forward. So you've got to realize that all of your yeah buts have an opinion underneath them that you can change. So I encourage you to start ditching your own limiting beliefs. Just start looking deeper inside and saying, okay, what made me not achieve this amazing fitness I always wanted, or the career I always wanted, or that relationship? Just start digging and saying, what's going on? Yeah, but I always said da-da-da. Oh, there it is. Whatever that is, and explore it, because it's time to let them go. They are holding you back. And I always feel like as we get older and we get wiser, it's easier to let them go. So it's time. Ditch the limiting beliefs. Attitude adjustment number 4 is to stop seeing wellness as odious or tedious. Now, you might be the exception, but I doubt it. Only because I've worked with thousands of people over 30 years. And even I can have the attitude around my own wellness sometimes with, oh, I don't want to deprive myself. I'd rather be this way, like it's just odious to do the things I feel like I should be doing. Okay, here's the thing. Wellness has never been more important than in your whole life than once you hit about 40. We really need to put attention on taking better care of ourselves. But here's the thing. I want to encourage you to not feel like it's all or nothing, to not go directly to that one thing that you don't want to give up or you don't want to have to do, and instead do the things that are easier for you. So my husband was recently diagnosed with high blood pressure and high cholesterol. And we chose to take the lifestyle route first before we start down the medication lane. And the first thing he said was, oh, I need to stop eating cheese. And he loves cheese. And I said, well, maybe don't eat it on your sandwich because you don't really taste it, but enjoy it on crackers or eating it plain, like the ways you can really enjoy it. Like, I don't believe in letting go of everything that you love. Like, life is too short for that. Yes, we want to increase our longevity. That's one of the benefits of wellness, right? But if you're not enjoying each of the days the way you want to, then my goodness, what's the point, right? He also loves cookies, and he used to do homemade cookies. He or I would make homemade cookies when the kids were little. And the last few years, he's moved to store-bought cookies, which aren't as healthy, right? They've got the partially hydrogenated oils, blah, 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 all those things. And he said, oh, I got to give up cookies. I said, well, how about we just go back to homemade? We've got the time. Let's make homemade cookies. And we both love to make them. We love baking. So why not? Do you see what I mean? Like, don't give up the farm when you love certain animals, but not all, right? Like, pick and choose, because some is better than all. And honestly, all can just suck the life out of your life, right? When I'm working with clients, I like them to focus on energy levels, focus ability, literally in your brain, being able to focus, and general feel-goodedness. It's like, what helps you with those things? And let's focus on that, and let's get you craving feeling good, because then it makes it easier to do the things that help you to feel good. So I love wine. I love wine. I swear I had an amazing past life as an Italian. And I also realized that wine keeps me from having a really good night's sleep, and I wake up very groggy the next day. So instead of a glass of wine every night, which is definitely where I stepped into with COVID, I know I'm not alone there. I started just drinking it on the weekends, just Friday and Saturday nights. So I would have a little bit more energy during the week. And then I started craving even more energy because I realized that grogginess would carry over until Monday and I wasn't able to fully relax. And I started just craving feeling good, and made it so easy to let go of more of my wine drinking. And now it's just about one weekend a month. That's all that I enjoy wine. And it's not very hard, because I'm focused on my feel-goodedness, if you will. And I only drink the wine when I'm with friends, and that's part of my feel-goodedness. I'm enjoying the evening, I'm enjoying my glass of wine, or I'm enjoying my wine with the food I'm eating. You see what I'm saying? So I want you to really take your wellness seriously. Really get moving. Move your body, but in a way that you enjoy. I hate running. I've always hated running. I don't use the H word very often, but I really hate running, and I never do, right? Like, I much prefer a brisk walk. I enjoy that so much more. I also have a stationary bike, and I do that while I'm watching a show that I love. It makes me enjoy the actual workout. I also love yoga, of course. So doing yoga is something that I enjoy doing in the moment. And I encourage you to find what helps you feel good and make sure you're moving the body, taking relaxation very seriously, nourishing your body with as many healthy foods and whole foods as you can within, your own time constraints, if you will, and making sure you're sleeping well, taking really good supplements. Those are the biggies, because it makes all of the difference. So I want to encourage you, in case that is an attitude you need to change, to see wellness as something you're doing for yourself, not to yourself. And to seek out those things that are easy for you. And not only easy, but maybe you'll actually enjoy them. It's possible. Attitude adjustment number 5, and arguably the most important, although each one is important depending on which one you find yourself more challenged with, right? But it is having the attitude of gratitude. Now, don't stop watching and don't roll your eyes at me. I want you to listen through, because this one is so important. When I work with clients, I often ask, are you grateful for your life? And 9 out of 10 times, and these are people who have hired a life coach, they will say, yes, I am grateful for my life. But here's the thing. Most of us, when asked, when you think about it, you're like, yeah, I am absolutely grateful for my life. But your go-to in any one moment during the day is often complaining, irritation, frustration, annoyance. Those aren't emotions of gratitude, right? Think about this one. I want you to really think about your life and think, do I turn to gratitude on a regular basis as a normal emotion, as a normal reaction? Or am I easily frustrated, and do I have negative conversations with people around life? Now, recently I had a conversation with a colleague, a student, who had her credit card stolen. And yeah, that is a little frustrating, 100%. But she went on and on and on about how frustrated it was, how annoying. I can't believe this happens. I had 3 charges on my credit card. I had to call the credit card company. I was on hold for a while, and on and on. And what was really noticeable for me is a couple weeks earlier, my husband and I had one of our credit cards stolen, and we had 2 or 3 charges on it. And the conversation I had with him, because he took care of it, is I said, gosh, was that frustrating? He goes, I don't know. It happens every few months. In today's day and age, it's pretty common. He goes, all I do is call the credit card company and they take care of it. We don't have to pay for anything. They put money back on the card or in the account if it was a debit card. It's actually pretty easy to take care of. The difference between the 2 conversations was so poignant to me, and I thought, there it is, right? Yes, it is finding the silver lining in all clouds. I swear we all have people in our life, and maybe you're one of them, who can find the cloud in every silver lining. I had another conversation with a student, and actually she said, we're going to go on this vacation next month, and I'm so excited about it. And assuming we don't get sick, of course, assuming something doesn't happen so we can't go. It's just like, oh my God, let's find the cloud in this silver lining, right? Like, oh, stop, just stop. Now, I am not saying you can never get frustrated, you never can get irritated, but here's the thing. Start to question the things you're being irritated by. Is it something you can change? You know, you can't change whether or not your credit card was stolen. It's going to happen, and yep, you have to deal with it. Is there an attitude shift you can make around that annoyance so that it doesn't bother you as much? Right? Do you see what I'm saying? I hope so, because I find the older we get, the more curmudgeon-y we can become. So if that is an attitude you need to change, I encourage you to work on it and simply practicing gratitude regularly, like at least daily, where you stop and you think of 3 things you're grateful for. Just look around. I'm grateful I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful I have the money to have a cell phone and a computer. I am grateful to have a car. I'm grateful to live in a safe society. Like, there are so many things to be grateful for us. And when you practice that more and more, it begins to shift what goes on in your brain and rewires your brain. So your go-to isn't always the negative, but your go-to can actually be the positive. And that's it. Those are the 5 attitude adjustments I definitely recommend. And please comment below. Let me know which one was the most poignant for you. I know there was at least one. And I want to encourage you to check out my video on the ultimate guide, the guide to, oh, I can't even think of the title, Guide to the Ultimate Life Reset. Because this is your next step, right? Let's go reset your life, reset your attitude. It's got a workbook and everything. So I will link to it below, and enjoy, because you know what? Life is meant to be extraordinary, and I don't care what age you are. It is so possible to take that next step into your extraordinary life. We'll see you in the next one.